Where the big news stories happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Marketing Edge on TV is a leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. I am Bababumi Agbibi. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and the field of marketing and advertising around the world and in Nigeria. In brand news, Nigeria's internet penetration is expected to hit 70% by the end of 2025. Driven by government initiatives, improved digital infrastructure, and rising mobile adoption. Currently at 44%, experts say the surge will boost e-commerce, digital banking, and online education, creating jobs and driving innovation. To accelerate growth, the Nigerian Communications Commission has launched the National Broadband Alliance for Nigeria, NBAN, targeting schools, healthcare, and markets to expand broadband access. CMC Connect LLP has designated March as Crisis Management Advocacy Month to promote proactive crisis planning for businesses and institutions. Key activities include the launch of Crisis X, a real-time crisis response solution, an advocacy campaign on reputational risk, case study analysis, and a high-impact webinar on crisis-proofing businesses. Lead partner Yomi Badejo Kusoya said crisis preparedness is no longer optional but essential for resilience and business continuity, adding that with rising digital disruptions and reputational risk, the initiative aims to equip leaders with tools to navigate uncertainty confidently. To mark International Women's Day 2025, Nimbus Aid Foundation and ALX Nigeria are teaming up to train 10,000 women entrepreneurs in artificial intelligence, helping them embrace digital transformation. With women-led businesses facing tech adoption challenges, this initiative aims to break barriers and equip them with AI skills to boost efficiency, cut costs, and expand market reach. Nimbus Aid Foundation's Wale Adegoke says the partnership moves beyond traditional support to true empowerment, while ALX Nigeria's Ruby Igwe highlights its mission to bring world-class AI education to women entrepreneurs. With ALX's vast reach and Nimbus' track record in SME support, this initiative is set to reshape Nigeria's entrepreneurial landscape. Aniete Udo, Divisional Director of Marketing at Marketing Edge, has been named a Grand Jury member for the prestigious AME Awards 2025, a recognition of his expertise in brand strategy and marketing communications. This appointment follows his recent selection for the Native Advertising Awards, further cementing his influence on the global stage. Expressing his gratitude, Udo said being chosen for both juries is an honor and a responsibility, and that he looks forward to evaluating campaigns that redefine marketing effectiveness. Next is Branding Focus after this break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Now brand in focus.
10 years ago,
in an era saturated with advertisements, innovative brands are redefining marketing by engaging consumers through interactive campaigns that foster emotional connections and meaningful engagement. By moving beyond traditional advertising, these brands are transforming transactions into memorable experiences, cultivating a loyal customer base that actively supports their products and services. Marketing experts note that interactive campaigns make customers feel integral to the brand, creating moments that resonate and are remembered. By leveraging content marketing, brands humanize their identity, allowing customers to relate directly through participation in events or conversations. Several brands have successfully implemented such strategies. One company invited users to customize and showcase their own product designs, offering winners the chance to see their creations transformed into an official collection. This approach attracted significant attention from millennials and became a hit. Another brand utilized quizzes as an interactive marketing strategy, asking users to choose their favorite dishes, revealing their flavor personas. This tactic engaged millennials eager to explore new cuisines, boosting brand awareness and customer engagement. Similarly, a global beverage company launched a campaign allowing customers to personalize bottles with their names, encouraging fans to seek out and share their unique bottles on social media. This simple yet effective idea transformed customers into active participants in the brand storytelling. These initiatives highlight a broader trend, building deeper connections between brands and consumers. Interactive experiences provide consumers with a sense of agency and belonging, turning them from passive observers into brand advocates. As technology continues to evolve, the opportunities for brands to engage audiences will expand. The brands of tomorrow will invite customers not only to see their story, but also to live it, making it essential for brands to involve customers in their narratives. That was Brand in Focus. Next is Industry Conversation, where we discuss with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves and have made tremendous impact in their chosen field. My guest today is LANRE ADISA. Join us after this break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
On Industry Conversation, I'm being joined by the founder and chief executive officer, Noah's Ark Communications. He's also the president of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria and the chairman, Heads of Advertising Sectoral Group, LANRE ADISA. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
How would you assess the creative advertising sector in Nigeria, and what opportunities and challenges do you see in this space?
Well, thank you first and foremost for having me on this talk. In my assessment of our industry, I believe that we're making some progress, but the pace is not at the level that one would desire in terms of putting in the context of global dynamics, even continental dynamics, as it were. Because one of the ways to look at that is to see how you perform against your peers in other parts of the world. The creative industry generally is booming in Nigeria, you can say, but the marketing communications part of it still has a lot to do, as it were. In that regard, for me, I think there's a whole lot of room for improvement. There are new players coming in every now and then. But the mainstream that we know as a mainstream, especially if you look at it in terms of what you might want to call the legacy agencies, the mainstream agencies, and what some people call traditional, there is that need for them to also, undergo some transition into, where the world is headed in terms of digital tech and what have you. So there's a whole lot of room in there so I'll see those things as opportunities to grow. But as regards being competitive, and I can use the example, the one parameter to look at will be, even look at the Luris ranking. I don't think there's any Nigerian agency in that ranking for last year. So that is sad. Neither is there one for West Africa. So if I look at it from that perspective, these are our peers. And it's not just limited to Africa, it's Africa and the Middle East. So if we're not being seen there, we have a whole lot of work to do. But it doesn't mean that there are no players, there are no people doing what will be considered to be fairly good work. But I think we need to aim more towards doing great work that, will actually go beyond just selling, stuff here, but to be reckoned with outside of where we are.
Now, what do you think these agencies in Nigeria should do to step up to be on such rankings?
Well, I think the first and most important thing is we need to invest more in talent. And in investing in talent, also we're investing in ideas. It's about fresh ideas. What's winning out there is what is considered to be fresh ideas, innovative ideas. And this is only going to come from the kind of people that you have and the culture that drives you also. It is not enough to have 1-2 agencies to be perceived to be doing fairly okay or fairly good. It can be considered to be a really vibrant industry when the minimum standard can beat anyone anywhere. So it's when you have a whole lot of people doing great stuff, then it becomes really competitive. I think there's need for and there's room for more competition in terms of ideas, not in terms of movement, of billings, of whatever and all those things. Those things are important, but not as important as our core reason for being. The reason we're in the business is we want to actually promote the brand idea. And that can only be done with, really outstanding ideas, from agency A, B, C. And competition is very good because what competition does is it helps you to raise your game. But when there's little competition, there's complacency. And I think that's what we need to run away from.
Looking at Nigeria, we've been dealing with the economic issues now leading to inflation, and this has dealt badly on marketing budgets. Now, how as advertisers, how have they been able to do and do this, manage the situation?
Well, it goes without saying that the economic headwinds that we faced as a nation affected, our sector. Now, I don't have the figures as we speak. I think there's a plan for the OMD Media Rich Fact Book. I think sometime this month or thereabout. But I haven't said that I don't have the figures in terms of how we fared last year. But I can guess from our own experience and shared experiences with other people, a whole lot of our clients were affected. The forex situation in particular, a lot of them were reporting, the multinationals in particular, back-to-back losses and all that. So those things had effects on budgets for advertising. But we also saw that towards the end of that year, things started picking up again. And I think this year in particular, it's going to be different from what we experienced last time in that regard. So again, I don't have the figures, so I can't tell you to what degree.
Now, looking at advertising agencies in Nigeria, comparing with others, the peers outside the country, how can Nigerian creative industry stand out and be successful while also getting profitability?
Well, I think for me, we have a good example in other areas of the creative business, other genres, so to say. If Nigerian music can travel the world and be successful, without anybody worrying whether they speak, Queen's English or American English, if our Nigerian films can be successful, I don't see why, Nigerian advertising shouldn't be successful. So the point I'm making is we need to be ourselves, we need to tell our stories, and we need to tell our stories in ways that anybody anywhere in the world will get it. Because a good story is a good story. It is how you tell it, and stay authentic more than anything else. And we need to earn respect in the process as well. It starts with respecting yourself, respecting what you do, and then you can earn the respect of the other party. On the part of the client, you expect that mutual respect as well. Respect in terms of what's my area of, strength? What do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? Accepting that we both need each other to create magic. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe you bring the logic, I bring the magic, then something great can happen. And when that happens, you can see the result in the kind of relationship and the outcome, the output from that relationship. And when we do that, you can take that to anywhere in the world. The world is much smaller today than ever. Whatever you do here can travel in no time. And the more you show up in the places that really matter around the globe, in the world of advertising, telling your own stories. I mean, I get, you know, in our private capacity, people I run into from other parts of Africa who only got to know about us through the work that we do. Now, that's what we do. That's what we need as an industry. That people can say, wow, you know. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian brand, the Nigerian character is a unique brand. It's a unique person. People expect certain things of you. People respect you for certain things. Despite all the image, what's it called, slandering and whatever that you get here and there sometimes. But people do respect the Nigerian spirit. There's something about the Nigerian spirit. And I think that's what is powering some of the changes that we're seeing. Now, we need to power that into what we do also in advertising. Maybe advertising limits it, but the just entire gamut of marketing communications, the way you say it, yeah.
I like the fact you touched on telling stories. Now, how do advertising agencies, how do they find a balance while being very creative and also delivering to their clients? How do they find that balance?
I don't think you need to really worry so much about the balance in quote, because when you say they talk about the balance, they say, oh, how do I balance things out in terms of, do I stay creative or should I worry about the billings? Truth of the matter is that if you get it right with your creative ideas, your creative stories, good storytelling, it leads to, you know, it leads to value for the brand. We've seen that. We know that is what really works. You know, one good story will do the work of 10 mediocre ads. That is the reality. I mean, it is not original to me. This is Bill Bernbach talking. One great ad, you know, will actually do the work of 10, you know, safe ads. So that's what you should be investing in. And when you do that, you're adding more value to the client. And, you know, of course, naturally, they also respect that you are a partner in what they do. So I don't see the two as being opposing each other. It's more good work actually should lead to good income. I mean, that's my position, yeah.
You're the chairman of ADISA, of advertising sectoral groups. Now, what's the biggest challenge that advertising agencies face, and what does the group do to mitigate this challenge?
Okay, like you said, is the heads of our advertising sectoral groups. So it's not just advertising as triple N, it's the entire gamut. So experiential, media, what's it called, outdoor, you know, and even the client, although there's a bit of a question mark somewhere there. So the importance of that is that is the only avenue we have to talk to one another. So we're not just in silos, because we may have different fields of specialization, but we have common clients and we have common challenges. We're in the same economy. So what's the point? So this is the chance we have to talk to one another so we can exchange ideas and we can find solutions to our common problems. Now, the beauty of that is when we come together, it's easy to find those solutions. And with HASD in particular, over time, it had done more of reactionary, you know, work, so to say, as in, oh, there is a problem, let's go quench that fire, there's a whatever. So what we're trying to do within the people on that board right now is, how do we, you know, ensure that we even get it right as regards our purpose? What's the purpose of HASD? What impact should we have on our industry? So we're laying that foundation and trying to see how we can ensure that whoever comes after this particular set of people can actually run on this without necessarily, you know, having to, you know, react to circumstances around the industry. Some things will show up, no problem about that. But I think there's a need for us to, you know, realign in terms of what purpose this should serve. And we think it's something that can serve a real big purpose, working with other stakeholders and ensuring that, you know what, we can give people hope. I mean, we've been there for a very short time. I can tell you that the little I've experienced of it, I think there's a whole lot that can come from HASD.
In your capacity as president of AAAN and chairman of HASG, how would you describe the relationship between advertisers and agencies?
Well, I think that would be, that can be seen from two perspectives. The first one is that agencies and their clients will have their own relationships, first and foremost,
Okay.
which will have little or nothing to do with what we think as a body. You understand what I'm saying? The kind of relationship you develop with your client. It's in your interest to develop a good relationship with your client. Then there is the one about the, the industry and sectoral groups and what have you. I would say that over time, it's been fair, in quote, but we need to move beyond fair. But again, truth be told, some things that transpired in recent times have not also been, how do I put it now? They've not been helpful in terms of the kind of relationship we desire. So, case in point is Advan feeling aggrieved to pull out of HASG. Not so much because HASG, is not working in their best interest per se, but as a form of protest, at a particular situation, situation they're trying to correct. But again, we'll leave that to them. But I can tell you, the position from HASG is about unity. So what we've told them then and what we're saying even now is, we can always come back, and because you can't solve a problem walking away from the table. You still have to come back to the round table and resolve your issues. So in that light, I think the current situation, there's a whole lot that we can do together. There are things that will require that we talk to one another to, ensure that we correct certain things or improve on certain things in our industry. So there's a whole lot of room for improvement here.
How has AAN been able to promote professionalism and the culture of creativity?
So, this is an ongoing thing. One of the very important things in our business is peer review. And the best form of peer review is that you create properties like your Life Awards, among other things. And we've done that it's going to be 20 years this year, actually, as a matter of fact. So 20 years this year is Life Awards, and you'll be surprised how effective that has been in terms of inspiring people, inspiring young creatives, how effective it's been even in terms of clients being able to gauge, the level of creativity as regards one agency to another or the industry as a whole. It has done tremendously well in promoting creativity, but it is not limited to that. The most critical thing, like I said at the beginning, is talent development. What are we doing to promote, the flourishing of talent, in our industry? It is one area where we have not done enough over time. And if there's anything at all for us, this new executive board, it is one area that we really want to focus on as regards promoting talent development. Training. Very important. That's the only way you can grow an industry. Every industry you go to, anywhere, you go to any of the awards, you see young talent. It's not saying the old talents are of no use. No, it's, a combination of the old and the new. But the only way you can be sure of the future is that you're investing in, the young ones, so they can run with the ball, so to say. So in our own case, we are at the moment working on a training program, but that is not all there is to it. The bigger picture for us is actually, bringing to life the desires of our pioneers, our founding fathers, to actually have an advertising school for the industry that is well run, that is professional, that is, run to the standard of anywhere else that you probably find such schools. That we are committed to bringing alive within this tenure of our administration. So, because it's the only thing we can do. I know the kind of talent that I met when I came into the industry. And unfortunately for us, the entry barrier is so low today. Back then, if you were to come into any creative department as an art, in fact, they were not even called art directors, they were called visualizers. You would have gone to school in Yabatek, Auchi, ABU, or whatever, the best of art schools in the country, for you to be considered for any employment in an agency back then. So there was craft, people who could actually tell, good drawing, good illustration, good what have you, and they plugged all of this into what they were doing. Same for a writer. You probably would have been writing before, writing poems, writing short stories, or whatever it is, In fact, there were I used to have this thing about the fact that you studied mass communication was no guarantee that you'll be employed as a copywriter, because you need to bring more to the table than that. You have to be a writer in the real sense of it. And that's how we started. But now with tech, you know, everything is, and it's not helped by AI, by the way, because people don't even know how to use AI. That's the truth. AI is not supposed to take over from you. You're supposed to use it as a tool to be better at what you do. So these are issues, and that's why we need to focus back on talent development, on ideas. Ideas move the world in the real sense of it. Even with tech, with everything at your hand, you still need this. Because by the time I have the same tool as the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy, so are we going to be creating the same thing? No. The difference will come from what we do. So you can send 3, 4, 5 individuals to a football academy, but they can't move the ball the same way. There will be something about the way you move the ball that will be different from the next guy. And that's what we're talking about. Because otherwise it becomes robotic. So it is about helping people to find their voices. When they find their voices as a nation, as an industry, then we can also find our voices, you know, and share that with the world.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
That's the much we can take on Marketing Edge on TV. Join us again next week for the concluding part of the conversation with LANRE ADISA. I am Bababumi Agbibi.